Welcome back to the Silent Beauty Doctor here on YouTube, and in today's video we are reviewing some more sunscreens. Like low-key, this is about to be a sunscreen channel. Today we're reviewing the, well, you saw it from the title, so let's go. Now, there's a lot of things that some of y'all believe about chemical sunscreens that you kind of like perpetrate around the internet. Make sure you check out my video that I did with some black and skin of color dermatologists. I'll leave it linked above and below to kind of talk through some of those myths about chemical sunscreens causing hyperpigmentation and you know, all that stuff. Just go check out that video. You know, just go check that out. Now, another thing, I do a lot of mineral sunscreen reviews here on this channel, although in my heart of hearts, I am a chemical sunscreen girl. I don't have the time or the energy to be dealing with some of the issues that come with a mineral sunscreen, but I am extremely passionate about you wearing your sunscreens out there. So I want to make sure that you guys have, you know, options if you do look for the mineral sunscreen. So if that's what you're looking for, there's a whole playlist on mineral sunscreens. And if you don't know the difference between the two, I will put a link in the description box so you can get some more information. So I'm gonna group these two together because they're essentially the same kind of like formula. So this is the Invisible Daily Defense Lotion. There's an SPF 30 and then there's an SPF 60 plus. So these are both oxybenzone free. So if you're someone who in the past kind of felt like, you know, sunscreens irritated me, you know, I'm allergic to them, or, you know, I just didn't really like that, you know, most sunscreens kind of made me feel a little funny. These might work out for you because they are oxybenzone free. Oxybenzone is one of many chemical filters that are used, and I'm going to say in the US because, you know, I'm in the US, I'm an American, although, but for, you know, for some people, when they're irritated or they feel like they're like allergic to chemical sunscreens, sometimes it's the oxybenzone filter that does it. Let me look at my trusty dusty notes, because as with any, you know, review of a product, I try things over a course period of time. I'll put my notes in and then, you know, I put the camera on and we talk about it. I will say that overall, I had a pleasant experience with these sunscreens. I don't like the smell of either one, but thankfully it doesn't linger on, so I wasn't like being like, ugh, this is terrible, you know, for like throughout the whole day. So thankfully it doesn't linger on. I would say that the 30 has less of a smell than the 60 does though. So either one of these, the 30 or the 60 plus, can be worn with or without a moisturizer. Since this is a lotion and because of the way that the texture felt on this sunscreen, I felt okay going without a moisturizer on underneath. I have oily skin. Typically I do a separate moisturizer and then a separate sunscreen. Sometimes I'll wear a moisturizer that has SPF in it. But you know, it's wintertime here in New York, and you know, it's been a little cold, so I found that this, you know, worked pretty well without the moisturizer on for me. But if you have drier skin, maybe you might want to put a moisturizer or at least a very hydrating serum on underneath. So now the 60 plus looked greasy on my skin. I was like, wow, this is a lot of sheen on my face, but it didn't feel greasy. So it's lightweight, but it did have some of a sheen to it. Now that can happen often with some of the higher SPFs. Not always. Some formulations can have a higher SPF and it still kind of feel lightweight. But the 60 definitely, and even for it being winter, it felt, it looked very greasy on my skin. You know, I was just like, it's too much grease. I would say though that the 30 has a nicer finish. It was more of a satin matte finish on me. Again, I have oily skin, it's winter time, so, you know, take that into consideration. I do like that both are water resistant. I definitely preferred the 30 for my face, and then I would use the 60 plus for my body. They both, well, it doesn't say, because sometimes they'll say it's for face or whatever, but you get a sizable amount. So you get 3 fluid ounces for both. The price range is anything from like $12 to $14, but I'll leave links below so you can see where you can get it. Now, both of these tout a radiance boosting property. I noticed a little bit of a sheen, like a little tiny bit of a glow. This is not something that's gonna look like, you know, like the kind of glow that you would get from a liquid highlighter. It's not that, it doesn't go that far, but like think if you had like a moisturizer and you had like just a little touch of highlighter in it. That's the kind of effect that you're gonna get with these sunscreens. Not bad. I would definitely continue using the 60 plus for my body. I hope they'll come up with bigger bottles, you know, going forward, because although, you know, there's a good amount of product in here, I can go through this pretty quickly on the body. So I hope they come out with a bigger version. I mean, even the 32, but on my body, I did like how the 60 plus, you know, it was more moisturizing and it, you know, had that like nice little glow to it. So next up, the SPF 60 Plus Serum. Now, the serum is not water resistant, and texture-wise, I would say that this felt more like a lotion than like your typical serum. You know how serums can tend to feel like very watery. This had more of like a lotion type of feel to it. I would say this doesn't feel extremely lightweight, but it doesn't feel heavy. I would say for me, this would be great for this time of year, maybe in the fall and spring as well, but this would not be my first choice in the summertime for my oily skin. I think it would be, you know, a little too heavy. In the summertime, there also are some radiance boosting properties about this. I did notice a little bit of sheen, a little bit of glow when using this. What I would say is, you know, you put your moisturizer on and then this goes on after. You could probably skip the moisturizer if you have oily skin, or depending on, you know, what the weather, the climate, and whatnot is doing where you live. But if you are going to put a moisturizer on first and then put this on top, just be mindful of the texture, because sometimes, you know, if your products aren't the same base, like if they're not, like if one's water based and one's oil based, sometimes you can have a little bit of issue with the products not really, like, you know, they're not playing well together. Another thing that can kind of cause that is silicone. So if there's silicone in one of your products, it might cause a little bit of pilling. So, you know, just things to keep in mind. Usually you can mitigate some of that by, you know, letting your moisturizer really absorb, you know, give it a couple of minutes before you put the sunscreen on. Sometimes that helps to kind of mitigate some of that, like, you know, weird texture issue thing. Or just kind of, you know, if you can, swing it in your routine. Just kind of make sure that the bases of your products are in harmony and have some cohesion. So now the SPF 50 face mist. Now let me say this. This is not a makeup spray. This is not a makeup setting spray. Okay. Now, the thing with sunscreen sprays, they're really convenient. You can usually pull them out of anywhere, apply them really easily, but the proper way to apply a sunscreen spray is to spray it in your hand and then apply it to your face. And then they have the body ones, you spray that to your hand, you apply it to your face. Because the thing is, the way that the sunscreen comes out in that mist, some of that mist might be getting on you. Some of that mist might be over there in the atmosphere, over there, or even on the floor. So to make sure that you're getting an even amount of sunscreen, which is super important, because then it's like, you know, don't half-ass your sunscreen. To ensure that you're getting a nice, even, like, application, spray it in your hand and then apply it to your face. I really like this on days when I don't have makeup on, because it, like I said, it dries to a satin matte finish. It has like a little greasy feel to it when you first put it on, but it definitely dries down to a nice satin matte finish. And then you can reapply it and it doesn't feel like you have like a whole bunch of layers of product on your face. You can apply makeup over it, like you can apply this with your hands and then put your makeup on. And actually it works really, really great with makeup, because it almost acts as a primer, and it keeps, you know, it's just a little extra layer for your makeup to hold on to. This is also water resistant up to 40 minutes. Great to know. But of course, you know, like if you sweat profusely or you just jump in a swimming pool, you're walking down the streets in New York and someone opens up a fire hydrant and there's water all over the place, of course you're gonna want to towel off and, you know, reapply your sunscreen. You know, just so you know. I actually really like this. This is something that I feel that I can use, you know, multiple times throughout the year. But like I always tell you guys in these sunscreen videos, like you need more than one sunscreen, especially if you have different facets of your life. Like maybe, you know, when you have one sunscreen when you go to the gym, one kind when you go to the beach, one kind when you're wearing makeup, one kind when you're just going to run errands real quick. So, you know, just have a whole library of sunscreens. By the way, these are all four products that I mentioned are oxybenzone free. Oxybenzone is not something that irritates me, but for some people, you know, when they find that they have that irritation to sunscreens, a lot of times oxybenzone can be the culprit. It's usually the culprit too when you say that something's like stinging your eyes, you know, when you put your sunscreen on. So if that's you, maybe this might be something for you to check out. definitely do a patch test before you try any new skincare, just to make sure that, you know, because you have it bump up like right here in your wrist or behind your ear, then to put that mess all over your face and then be like, please let it work. Like, don't do that. Do a patch test. But anyway, I dug these. I would definitely say my favorite out of the bunch was the face mist. I liked how convenient it is to just throw this in my bag on days when I'm running errands and I'm going to be out all day. It's easy to just reapply. Again, it is not a makeup setting spray, so if you want to put this on over your makeup and, you know, have things kind of break down and, you know, mess up your makeup, that's on you, but I ain't telling you to do that. I ain't telling you to do that. So if you want more information on these and want to maybe purchase them and check them out, I'll leave it linked in the description box. In the description box also are links where you can follow me on social, because I'm everywhere else on the internet spreading my cheer when I'm not here on YouTube. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.